the Awakened raid rotation has been confirmed for Season 4. Some people were wondering if there was going to be a rotation. There is indeed going to be a rotation, just like last time. The current season raid section shows the little Awakened raid, logo right there, which will be telling us which of the raids is currently awakened. The season will rotate through with 3 Dungeon Flight raids, including the Awakened indicator, as I just said, which will indicate which raid is empowered for that week. That'll mean you need to wait 3 weeks to do the achievement to get the ugly-looking Foxboy mount. Yes, so complete all 3 Awakened raids on normal difficulty or higher in Season 4 will give you this monstrosity. It is certainly not the slime cat mount, but it is what it is. It's what we're going to get, so I guess we'll take it. What are we going to do? I don't know what it is lately with some of these mounts, but there it is. Moving on. The Antique Bronze Bullion is the new Dinar. Vendors will be there for Season 4 in Valdrakken. There's going to be 4 different vendors selling things that we can use these dinars for, these bullions for. We'll be getting these things. You can buy weapons, trinkets, and cantrip items from all 3 raids, alongside a 4th vendor that sells cosmetic items. Of the 4 vendors, 1 is dedicated to each of the 3 raids, and each weapon, trinket, and cantrip item will be 2 of these bullions. So this whole thing about worrying about some kind of really hard cap on the dinar system, it looks like that's not the case. There will be a cap. It's looking like it's going to be 12, so you're going to be able to get 12 throughout the season, which gives you 6 items. That's a lot of items. So you'll be able to get 6 items by the end of the season. Choose wisely, I would say, but really with 6 items, you don't have to choose that wisely. You'll basically get everything you want. You'll also be getting the Scale of the Awakened Legendary upgrade item, which is for Warriors, Paladins, and Death Knights, and it'll also work for the Nezuro Legendary that was originally out back in the first raid. So the 4th vendor exclusively sells cosmetic weapons, as I was saying, and it sells Mr. Jigglesworth Sr., the original and OG badass faded raiding mount, the Slime Cat. This is a good one, man. I missed the Slime Cat. I got it. It's still one of my favorite mounts in the game. I was really, really hoping for the Slime Dragon. I was hoping we were going to get that. I think it's a big miss on Blizzard's part to not give us the Slime Dragon, but I guess we're getting the furry Foxboy mount instead, and we're just going to have to deal with it. Mr. Jigglesworth will be available if you missed him in Shadowlands because you decided to not incur lifelong braid damage by playing Shadowlands. It'll only cost you 3 bullions to be able to get it, so not too bad. You'll be giving up, 3 of your 12. Maybe you want to do it, maybe you don't. Although we do not yet know how the new dinar or bullion things will be acquired in Season 4, the price seems to imply that players will be able to obtain more than the maximum of 3 in Shadowlands, particularly if players are expected to also purchase legendary upgrades of various cosmetic appearances. The bullion tooltip tells us that the max stack count, which implies but does not definitely confirm that what I said earlier, the 12 will potentially be the end game, the maximum you can get throughout the season. So how will dinar items work? They will be able to be upgraded. So not only will you be able to purchase these things, and the item level will likely be indicated based on what you cleared, but you'll also be able to upgrade them using the current upgrade system that we have now, upgradable up to 535 item level. That's mythic rating item level. Basically 13 and 14 you only get from very rare end bosses in mythic raid. So you'll be able to use your current upgrade system, run your mythic, dungeons and everything else to get the crests, and upgrade these things all the way up to mythic level rating, which is great. Love to see it because mythic rating, as it goes, we all know, is basically inaccessible up to this point. So getting in there, doing your crests, getting your dinars through the faded rating system, buying your gear, and then upgrading the gear, you're going to be able to big dick and helicopter dick your way through the rest of the expansion. As I've always said, at the end of an expansion, Blizzard should just allow people to get all their biz gear and just go big dick the rest of the way. That's how you're supposed to do it, and I'm glad Blizzard's doing it this way. There will also be a new tier Omni token for the end raid bosses in Season 4. This Omni token will drop from the final boss in each of the faded raids and will be completely non-gear dependent, so it won't be tied to plate or anything else. It'll be a tier token that you can get your tier set with. Your tier set, by the way, being a 486 item level, 499, 512, or 525, depending on which, boss difficulty you just completed. So say you just cleared Heroic, this token will drop, everybody in the raid will be able to roll on it, and if you win, you will be able to buy a 512 item level piece of gear that can also be upgraded through the crest system. And this is tier gear, so this is a tier gear token. Very cool. Also like this a lot. This is a great thing. Like I said, just let everybody go big. Go big or go home. It's time to play, not go home. Well, actually go home and play, I guess you could say. There will also be new weekly open world quests for the Spark of the Awakening system. So this is the new crafting, right? You'll be able to craft your stuff with this stuff. You'll get the Splintered Spark of the Awakening and the Spark of the Awakening by doing this weekly world quest thing. So you'll be able to complete this. Who will you aid this week? Season 4 of Dragonflight includes the 2 sparks that I just described for crafting. In order to get them, it appears players will have to complete a weekly open world quest in the Dragon Isles Emissary. This is great. I love it. Push people into open world content, keep the world feeling alive. We also know that in the next expansion, we're going to be getting an entire row dedicated to open world content for your vault. So I love the fact that Blizzard is finally making, open world content relevant again. I keep saying it, make open world content great again. Open world content is the key to an MMO. That's why the Hearthstone event was fun, just because everybody was gathering, not because the actual Hearthstone content was any good. It was all right. It was all right, a bit buggy, but it was fine. Overall, I just enjoyed seeing people gathering up in a single area. It was a lot of fun to see, and it made the servers feel alive. So love this. Keep it coming, Blizzard. Keep pushing open world content and shoving it down everybody who doesn't like its throats, because I like it. April 2024's Traveler's Log is going to go live, and this is your end of log reward. The little birdie with the orange on the head. Yes, Mr. Little, what is his name? Aura? Yeah, the little Aura teaches you to summon and dismiss this companion. Now, the end of Traveler's Log things have kind of taken a downturn, I feel like. We started out with some really cool mounts, and lately we've just been getting these quirky pets. So, I mean, he's a cool looking pet. He's a little magey boy, but, not exactly something I'm crazy about. We already talked a lot about the April trading post, but just as a reminder, yes, the big boy boat, the 6-month sub mount, is going to be available for purchase off the trading post. Another one is the War Turtle. I believe this, or some color version of this, wasn't this an end of Traveler's Log reward at one point, back when the rewards were actually really cool? So if you missed it, you can get yourself another War Turtle. Now, we talked a lot about this stuff, a lot of spring flavor to a lot of these things and these items, but again, I think the star of the show for the April trading post is clearly the Sailboy mount. And last but not least, some changes have been made to Plunder Storm. Plunder Storm has some different buffs here. Plunder contained in the drop piles has been increased by 50% if you're doing a solo match. Kind of sad that they're pushing people into solos, but if you're lacking on plunder and you just want to grind it out and be alone and, kill mobs and get the plunder just to upgrade your renown, this is a good way to do it. Solo matches are going to be increased by 50% when it comes to looting plunder. Reviving a teammate now takes 10 seconds, was 15. Health brew cooldown has been reduced to 10 seconds, was 15. Adjusted for in-match level curves. So if you've been seeing some people blasting level 10 very quickly, that's going to change. From now on, leveling up to level 7 is going to be quicker, but then the rate you go from 8 to 9 to 10 after that is going to be slower. Blizzard wanted to do this to kind of decrease the whole, well, at the end of the match there's level 5 and level 10, and clearly the match has already been decided at that point. They kind of wanted to smush everybody closer together in levels, especially towards the end of a match, so things are a bit more exciting. We also see that Earthbreaker has been buffed. It now grants the caster immunity from crowd control. Fey Form has been nerfed. It no longer provides damage reduction. And last but not least, Hunter's Chains missiles now move significantly faster. A nice buff there.